Hey guys, it's Max from Closed In, and today I want to show you how we build an auto reply bot for our Instantly campaigns using Clay. And if used correctly, I think this is super powerful, especially if, like us, you send thousands of emails a day and prospects sometimes reply while you sleep. So yeah, let me explain first. So last summer we were in Asia for months while targeting the US, and replies would come in overnight, and we could only answer 8 hours later. And of course, that kills momentum, and everybody knows speed to lead is super important. So that's when we started implementing the auto reply bot. And that meant that we could reply to our incoming leads right away, and people would not have to wait to hear back from us. So this is the Clay table. You're looking at it right now. And let me run you through it to show you exactly how we do it. So first of all, we have a webhook where we get all the leads, all the positive replies from Instantly. They get pulled in here. From that data, we can see what we get. We get a reply text snippet. So this is what the person replied. Yes, please. Sure, I'm happy to discuss. Thanks for reaching. Well informed. And then we have the first name, last name, full name, company name, their website, their LinkedIn, email. Then we have the first enrichment, which is going to be the Slack notifier. So we push all the incoming opportunities right away to a Slack channel, so the whole team sees it right away. And then we have a personalized link of a case study that we send them, which is also very cool. It's a formula. I can actually show you here, edit column. So basically what it is a case study link, and then we have a variable of full name and a variable of email, which is going to be included in the link. And so if we send this link to the prospect and they open it, we're going to be able to track how long this person has been on the case study. And for example, also if they come back. So that's of course going to be a super nice intent signal that we have on everybody then. Then we find the Instantly thread, that's just the Instantly API, and then we write the reply. For that, we personally use Gemini. I can show you Gemini 2.5 Pro. There's many different models that you can try out there. Of course, we also played around a lot with 4.0 Mini, but in the end, for us, Gemini 2.5 gave the best results. Also because we have some Dutch campaigns running, and for some reason, ChatGPT seems to be like a little inaccurate with the Dutch language. It doesn't really understand conversational language, and Gemini seems to be a lot better at that. So how we prompt it, we tell them that it has to reply for closed in. Just very important that to keep it concise. If we have an email in Dutch, reply in Dutch. Short sentences. Yeah, that's just how you're going to prompt it. It's also going to be dependent on your personal preference, of course. Then we also sent the case study, the personalized case study, of course. That's how we prompted it. And we always end with a call to action to book a meeting. Then we find the specific lead in Instantly. So we can connect some data, which we're going to need for the reply bot. And here we have the reply bot. So let me actually scroll down a bit. Here the run was stopped, but later on, as you can see here, it was completed. So this is where the magic happens, basically. We have the HTTP API request with Instantly. We use a post method, and then you need the endpoint v2 emails reply. And then basically you allow Clay to reply in your Instantly account. The data you need for that is the following. You can just use this piece of code that we already wrote. You can just copy and paste it. You have to reply to the unique user ID, which we scraped by finding the lead over here. Then we have the body of the email, which is going to be HTML text. Oh yeah, so I should actually explain that. Here in Gemini, we make the AI model output HTML code. So let me open that so that you can see. Here, you can see this is HTML. It's very unreadable. That's the point of the HTML. But the reason why we do it is if you don't use HTML and you push back the reply, it's just going to be a plain block of text. And that's like super unreadable, of course. If we do it in HTML, it's actually going to be formatted. So we're going to have spacing, we have size of the lettering, the color of the lettering, all that kind of stuff. And of course, normally you never send HTML in your cold emails, but since this is a reply to a reply that we got, it's no longer a cold email. So we can send HTML, we can send images, we can send videos, anything. So The next thing that we do from here is finding the lead. So let me close this. You can see the column here, finding the leads. That's again done with the Instantly API. And then we get some data from the prospect that we're going to need to send the reply with the reply bot, which I'm going to show you now. So here we have the reply bot, and this is actually where the magic happens. So let's take a look. Instantly API again, and we're going to use a post method. So for this, you need the HTTP enrichment in Clay. You need the endpoint, the Instantly API v2 emails reply, and yeah, this is basically the whole crux of the video. With this endpoint, we allow Clay to send a reply email to the prospects. So this is very important. Then we have some JSON body that's gonna format the reply. So first of all, what we need is gonna be the unique user ID, which is what UUID stands for. And that's what we got from the find lead. Then we have the body, which is gonna be the HTML, and here we have the response. So that's gonna be the response that we had over here in the HTML from Gemini. We have the subject. So we want to reply on the same subject line, of course. And then the email account, and this is gonna be our email account. So of course, when we reply to the prospect, we want to reply in the same thread and with the same email. If we don't do that, we're gonna again have the same issue with the first email, that deliverability is gonna be super important, and we have the risk again of landing in the spam box. So this one is very important, that we have the same email account as the one that we send the first initial email with. And then JSON, and there below, you're gonna see our API. So I won't scroll any further. And then next, we have our HeyReach accounts, because we do multi-channel. So all incoming opportunities, we want to also add them to a HeyReach campaign. And let me show you this on the top. So here we have two columns. One is for me and one is for my co-founder. What we do is we send our emails from, like, a lot of accounts are connected to my name, Max, and a lot of them are connected to my co-founder name, Jurre. As you can see here, all the incoming opportunities went to my Instantly campaign. So what we do, the positive reply comes in, and we want to send a connection request to this person. The reason being, maybe we don't get the partnership now, maybe they don't close now, but over time, if they're in our LinkedIn network, we stay active on LinkedIn, and basically like that, we still nurture the lead, and we stay hopefully top of mind with them, so that if at a later stage maybe it's going to be better timing for them, they still know about us and maybe come back to us. So that's why we want to connect with them. Now, some mails, as I said, are coming from my email inboxes with my name and some with yours name. What I want is that the ones that are connected to my name get a connection request from my LinkedIn. But the email inboxes that are connected to Jurre, they need to be, the person that receives the email needs to be connected with his LinkedIn. As you can see here, that's not going right, because everything is going to my HeyReach campaign. So what I did here, as you can see later, we fixed it. What I did, I added conditional formatting to this column, so that I said, if the webhook, basically the initial information, the email that we send out, contains the name Jurre, I don't want you to run this column. And as you can see here, it's not running the column, and then it adds to Jurre's campaign. So that's how we fix that. Then for the leads that don't convert or they don't reply anymore, we have a mobile phone number enrichment, a waterfall that we can run. Just very basic waterfall enrichment on the phone number. Then we sync the leads to another Clay table to potentially retarget. So for example, they haven't closed after a few weeks, and then they go out of the direct flow, and maybe after like 1 or 2 months, we add them to a new retargeting campaign, where we can send a new Instantly campaign to these specific people who didn't convert. Then the last column is going to be adding to a Google Sheet. And as you can see here at the bottom, here the row was added. And this is basically just to function as a small CRM. So we have all the opportunities in there, and that we just have it as an overview for later and deal stage, etc. So guys, that's the auto reply bot and how we use it. Also good to mention, some companies prefer not to use it. Generally, it really depends on how big the TAM is and what the deal value is. So normally we see for higher deal values, people prefer to keep human in the loop and they want to really personalize their reply or give them a call right away. For companies where we have a very big TAM and the deal size is a bit lower, the first reply email, they don't want to send it manually, and then we automate it. So there's different options here. I hope that was clear. If this is something you would like to implement in your company, I hope you are able to replicate it from here. If not, feel free to reach out to me or anyone at my team. Closed In, you can find us on LinkedIn or here on YouTube, and we're always happy to help. Okay, that's it for this one. See you next time.